to remind our viewers of where India's actions have just taken place. Take a look at this map once again. That's finger 4 at the far end where things actually began. Across the lake is where Indian forces have occupied the black top and the helmet top, which is somewhere around here. As you can see, it's on the Indian side. This is a large picture of tanks, but there are Chinese tanks here which had looked to get up those tops and occupy those areas, but they were completely preempted by the Indian forces. The Indian army, very smart, has already predicted the Chinese aggression and deployed T-90 tanks in the Chushul area. This is the Spangur Gap. It's a surprising flatland amidst the Himalayas in this particular area. So that's why you see tanks which are well within range of each other. This is a distance of just about 9.5 kilometers. Now, this is a tense situation. There are talks that are happening between Indian and Chinese officers not very far from this standoff point, but things are extremely precarious and volatile between India and China. And like Abhishek was just telling us, India is speaking from a position of strength for the first time. I want to get in two voices from former soldiers and officers who've operated in this area. Imagine, here on 5 Live, we don't just give you gyan and get you gyan from experts. I introduce to you Brigadier Sandeep Thapar and Colonel Rohit Dev, two army veterans who've operated in Ladakh. They've operated on the China border. They've both served in the Chushul sector. They've both been there. Brigadier Thapar, Colonel Dev, welcome, good evening. Thank you for being with me. Brigadier, I'd like to start with you. What is your assessment, sir, of this situation? You know, me being a civilian, I don't want to, blow things up and exaggerate things, but this does seem to be quite precarious. Some daring actions have been conducted. There are tanks which are well within range of each other. What is your reading of the current situation, Brigadier?
Shiv, first, thank you for having me on your channel. And I must compliment your team. I find your channel the most, on the Ladakh situation, the most credible, accurate, and the best part is without hype. So continue your good work. Now coming to the situation, I find the situation is grim, is fragile. But the fact that talks are going on, the brigadier level talks are going on, and if you notice the Chinese statement day before yesterday morning, which came, was a little guarded and it was not aggressive and a little guarded. So obviously they are a little on the back foot. I think this action which we've taken, we've conveyed to them. So far they were taking the action and we were reacting. This time we have taken the initiative and acted,
yes,
and they are reacting. They're in a reactive mode. So it is conveyed to them that when it comes to our strategic, our interests, we will do whatever is required. So that has been conveyed. With this talks going on and how things are developing, the hope is still alive that the situation may not pan out into a conflict situation, and it may get, despite the fact that there are tanks on both sides, and artillery guns and this thing. I do hope that the talks will solve this issue because it has now been on the boil for about 4 months.
Yes.
Somewhere steam has to erupt, and this could be one potential flashpoint.
Very interesting. You're saying that it's been building up for 4 months. Steam has to be relieved. This could be one of the flashpoints. Colonel Dev, important point. India speaking from a position of strength for the first time, perhaps, in this entire standoff. What do you see happening, sir? Because, for the public at large, they've seen China suddenly reacting with a great deal of anger. So far, they've been able to control the narrative. They had the initiative. They took the first actions. This time, they've been completely caught off guard. They've lost the initiative in this area. Their patrols, we hear, are blocked. Their posts are within range of our dominant posts now. What do you think is going to happen next? Could there be a conflagration, or could there still be a chance for peace? Because I must say the Indian army says we've taken preemptive action, but we are a force for peace. We are still in favor of de-escalation.
Firstly, the Indian armed forces have taken the preemptive action is a fact.
Yes.
We have not intruded any space. In the month of April, May, China misused its own potential to create a situation which was to the disadvantage of our nation. by coming into some area of differing perception and finally led to the Galwan Faceoff. Since then, till I can say with assurance 17 June onwards specifically, lot of reorientation of ITBP and even movement of our mechanized forces in that area has taken place, primarily to plug and be ready at 7 points. One of them is the Pangong Tso Lake region. And there our influx of the mech forces has been little on the higher side. Having said that, there is no turning back shift. We are at a position now that we cannot cede to any takeover of even the land of differing perceptions. We can't have even a transgression. And in the South Pangong Tso, there is very thin margin of error insofar as the area of differing perceptions is concerned. It gets more thin line. And that is where the Indian troops who were at a little depth took the advantage because of the ISR capabilities of the Indian Army, which has been enhanced there since the month of July end. Those ISR capability was able to pick up this small movement.
Yes.
China was trying to test waters. And it is good that we have reacted in the way we have reacted proactively.
Exactly.
Now the question is that since we have got into the OODA loop with China and tried to seize the initiative at Pangong Tso South, I have my own theory and also a word of caution that let's have a clear assessment in the next 2 months what China can do, not only here, till as close as the border with Nepal and China, where it has also amassed some strength, and much south of GT 219. And we should be very, very chary of these supposed flashpoints and be able to take corrective actions there.
Okay,
Having said that,
I'm going to, Colonel Dev, I'm just going to hold you there because I'm going to talk about those corrective actions because the talks are still very much on and we have to recognize that, these talks are happening behind closed doors. So we don't want to preempt anything, but I am going to talk about those. Colonel and Brigadier, continue to stay with me.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.